Hola, Michelle here from Paper Maps, and today I want to share with you how to get around in Puerto Morelos, Mexico. You've got lots of options. First of all, you can walk. Lots of things are close by, lots of stores. Even if you're on the Colonia side or if you're on the port side, it is totally walkable. The second option would be to get a taxi, and you can find taxis everywhere. There are taxi stands. I will leave a number to the taxi number to order a taxi. I believe starting July 1st, they do now charge an extra 5 pesos if you order the taxi instead of just hailing a taxi. But there are places where the taxis hang out all the time, and it's pretty easy to find those if you don't want to pay the extra 25 cents. The third way is to bike. There are a lot of places that rent a bicycle. I'm lucky that my Airbnb included a bicycle, and I've used my bicycle a lot for getting around town. Just it helps me to go a little bit farther, a little bit faster. The last way is the Colectivo. The Colectivo are these vans that drive around. They have some routes that they sort of follow, and you hop on. It costs 10 pesos to ride, and this is how a lot of the locals will travel around town, and it's really not that hard. So there are 2 routes. Route 1 goes from the port side into the Colonia side and on the street called Timon. And Route 2 does the same thing, except on the parallel street called Zetina Gazga. And the Colectivo is coming right now, so I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see what to look for. This is going to be Route 2. Hola.
Hola.
Gracias. So, I have noticed that the Colectivos will sometimes change the route depending on who's on the van and where they need to go. For instance, one night it was kind of late and I was leaving the port side coming back to the Colonia side, and I ended up being the last one on the Colectivo. So the Colectivo went down my street instead of going further, because he knew he wasn't going to be taking anybody from their homes over to the port side at that hour, and he wanted to get back so he could get more passengers. Other times when I've been in the port side, there are a lot of motorcycles too. I suppose you could travel around by motorcycle if you have one of those. So anyway, a lot of times the Colectivos will drive around a little bit in the neighborhoods and the streets on the port side, but sometimes they don't, or they'll ask you where you want to go and drop you off where you need to be dropped. And it has just been a great way to travel for just 10 pesos, which equals about 50 cents in US dollars. If you take public transportation in your town, tell me about it in the comments below. I'd love to hear what kind of public transportation that y'all have in your towns. Here is the Colectivo on the port side to go back home. Hola, buenas tardes. I would also like to give a shout out to a lot of the taxi drivers in Puerto Morelos. They were all wonderful and great. The first time I got on a taxi, I called the dispatch number and had a taxi sent to me. I was all nervous being in Mexico by myself at night, and I had nothing to worry about. In fact, I didn't have correct change, and my taxi driver didn't have change, and he was like, well, I'll go get you change. And I'm like, no, you're not. And I just figured, okay, I just paid double for that ride. I gave him a very big tip, and he's like, I'll get you change, I'll get you change. And of course I didn't believe him, because in the United States that would have never happened. But sure enough, a few minutes later, there's a knock at my door, and he is back, and he has change for me. So shout out to all the taxi drivers in Puerto Morelos that are so honest and have so much integrity. I think that there are some things in Mexico that we as Americans could really learn from, like the Colectivo. They're vans, they're not big buses, and people are able just to, you know, kind of flag them down, and then you tell them where you want to stop. They're a great form of public transportation, and I think, you know, if the U.S. cities started adopting some kind of van system, that would be for the benefit of all. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up. That really helps out the YouTube algorithm in getting this video to more people. Comment below, and if you haven't already, subscribe. And remember, to really explore, you gotta use paper maps. Okay, I guess that wasn't Route 2 because he just went on past even though I waved at him. He didn't have a Route 2 sign in his window. So I'm gonna wait here until I find a Route 2 bus.